I have been with my partner for 8 years. He's cheated, lied, gaslit me, gave me an STD after sleeping with another woman, emotionally abused me while I worked 60+ hours to support us, and now suddenly claims he's changed and wants me forever. It's hard to even know where to start because this relationship has been a cycle of love, pain, betrayal, and me constantly questioning my own worth. Me and my current partner have been on and off for about 8 years now. 8 years. That's almost a decade of my life tied to this person. He was my first everything, my first love, my first real boyfriend, the first person I thought I could trust with all of me. And in those first couple of years, I absolutely adored him. I was young, naive, and hopelessly in love. He had flaws, sure, but at the time nothing felt like a deal breaker. I thought love meant accepting everything, even the things that hurt me. But then things started shifting around the 3rd year. That's when I started catching him lusting after other women online. Not just scrolling through, but obsessively liking, commenting, and following accounts that left me feeling invisible. I would confront him, tell him how much it hurt, how small and unwanted it made me feel. He always promised me he'd stop. He swore he loved me and that I was all he needed. But those promises were empty because soon after, I would catch him doing the exact same thing. What started as just lusting online quickly escalated. I found him on Tinder. Not once, not twice. Over 7 times throughout the entire course of our relationship. Each time, I felt my heart break a little more. Each time, I told myself maybe this time he really would change. Maybe this time, he realized what he was risking. And each time, I forgave him, even though deep down I knew he wasn't sorry. He was just sorry he got caught. Then came 2021, the year that really destroyed me. I found out he had been seeing another woman. Not just talking, not just messaging, but hanging out with her, sleeping over at her house. He took her on dates. He made time for her. And what gutted me the most? During that same time, I couldn't even get him to spend 1 hour with me. For 8 months straight, I begged for scraps of his attention while he gave it freely to her. I should have walked away then. I should have loved myself enough to leave. But instead, I forgave him. I stayed. And even after I found out, he continued communicating with her off and on until finally, last year, he cut her off. Or at least that's what he told me. By then, the damage was done. I had trust issues that consumed me. I found myself questioning everything he said, doubting every story, wondering if every time he left the house, it was to meet with her or someone else. And of course, that led to arguments, fights, endless nights of crying, and me being painted as the problem. I moved in with him around year 5, and honestly, that's when the emotional abuse became unbearable. His temper grew worse. Whenever he got mad, he would punish me, not with his fists but with silence, indifference, cruelty. He'd give me the silent treatment, block me on social media, ignore my calls while he went out to clubs with his friends all night. He knew exactly how to hurt me, and he made sure I knew my place. Anytime I voiced my feelings, everything was magically my fault. I was too sensitive, too controlling, too insecure. The things he said to me still echo in my head. He called me degrading names that stripped me down piece by piece. He'd tell me that my body wasn't enough, that my lower part was dry, and that's why he preferred watching porn and lusting after women online. Then he would turn around and make public posts on Facebook, statuses about how horny he was, crude jokes that were clearly designed to get other women's attention. And if I dared to complain, his answer was always the same. We're not even together. As if that erased years of commitment, as if it excused his disrespect. He humiliated me in public, yelling at me, making me feel small in front of others. At home, I was basically his maid. I cooked, I cleaned, I did all the laundry, everything. I bent myself backwards trying to be good enough, hoping maybe if I did everything right, he would finally treat me the way I deserved. Instead, I caught him messaging women over and over again. Some even came forward to me with screenshots, proof that he was flirting with them behind my back. I was in such a dark place. I felt trapped. He knew about my past, about the trauma I endured growing up, and he used it against me. He made me feel like I couldn't survive without him, like he was all I had. And for so long, I believed him. I let him convince me that I was lucky to even have him, when the truth was, I was drowning. By the 6th year, things went from bad to worse. He stopped working altogether. Just quit showing up like the bills didn't exist, like life could just pause while he waited for stuff to get approved for his so-called career. Meanwhile, I was the one breaking my back, working 60 plus hours a week, carrying every single bill, every single responsibility, while he sat around finding new reasons to complain. Nothing I did was ever enough. The money, the meals, the sacrifices, none of it mattered. He always had something to pick at, something to make me feel like I wasn't doing enough, even though I was drowning trying to keep both of us afloat. And still, I tried. I cooked, I cleaned, I took care of everything because I thought maybe if I just kept showing up, he'd eventually appreciate it. I tried so hard to satisfy him in every way possible, even when it cost me pieces of myself I didn't have left to give. But instead, he pulled further away. From March to June, he completely stopped being intimate with me. 3, almost 4 months, where he didn't even touch me. No explanation, no conversation, just cold distance. Then, out of nowhere, he decided to start being intimate again, like flipping a switch. But even then, it was lifeless. Empty. He never acted like I was good at sex. No passion, no warmth, no love in it. Just release. And the thing is, I tried. God, I tried. I sent photos, I gave him random blowjobs, I initiated constantly, even though deep down, sex has always been a complicated thing for me because of my past. I was abused as a kid. And still, I gave him everything I could. I gave him my body, my energy, my heart, all while pushing through my own trauma.
And in return?
He acted like I was nothing. He just finish, roll over, and go cold again. That emptiness he left me with, it's hard to even describe.
It wasn't just about sex.
It was about him making me feel unwanted, unworthy, unloved. And through all of this, he kept saying he loved me. But the more time went on, the more I realized he didn't love me. Not really. He just needed me. He needed someone to cook, clean, pay the bills, keep him afloat while he drifted through life. His I love yous felt more like chains than comfort. Finally, in 2024, I hit my breaking point. I left. For 2 months, I was gone. We had minimal contact, and I swore to myself I wouldn't go back. But my trauma bond with him, it's like an addiction. No matter how much pain he's caused me, no matter how many times he's betrayed me, something in me always finds a way back to him. And I hate myself for it. After 2 months, I went back. I told myself maybe this time would be different. Maybe this time he'd realize I'm serious about leaving if things don't change. When I came back, I asked him if he had been with anyone else while I was gone. I wanted honesty, just the truth, even if it hurt. But he swore up and down he hadn't. He looked me in the eye and said no, he had only been with me. I wanted so badly to believe him. Then, out of nowhere, he started acting mean, picking fights for no reason. I asked him what was going on, but he stayed silent, wouldn't give me answers. Until one day, he randomly asked me if I was having any trouble down there. My stomach dropped. I looked at him and straight up asked, "Do you have an STD?" And of course, he denied it again. Said he'd only been with me. But something in my gut told me to get checked. So I went to the clinic. And that's when it all came out. He finally admitted it. He had slept with another girl. For days after I moved out. For days. He didn't even wait a week. And not only that, he slept with her without protection. He contracted chlamydia. And then, without telling me, he slept with me too. He was never going to say a word. If I hadn't gone to the clinic, I would have never known. That was it for me. That was the final straw. I wasn't even as broken over the fact that he cheated again, though that ripped me apart. It was the fact that he was willing to risk my health, my safety, my body, without even giving me the basic human decency of honesty. He would have let me keep sleeping with him, exposing me, all while acting like everything was fine. That betrayal was on another level. I felt shattered.
Betrayed.
Violated. All I ever asked for in this entire relationship was honesty. I told him from the start, mistakes happen, I can deal with almost anything, but just tell me the truth. And after everything, after all the fights, after all the times he swore he'd do better, he still couldn't do that one thing. I'm still here, still living with him, still carrying the weight of everything he's done to me, while also trying to convince myself that maybe it's finally different now. Since January 2025, he's definitely been better emotionally. He's calmer, he says the right things more often, he's more affectionate in small ways than he used to be. On the surface, it looks like progress. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't notice it. But at the same time, I can't shake everything that came before. The betrayals, the lies, the nights he ignored me, the women, the Tinder, the STD. It all lives inside me like a scar that doesn't stop aching. And even though he's better, there are still things that don't change. For example, I'm still not allowed to check his phone. I never have been. Not once in this relationship. He's made it very clear that it's his private space, and I don't get access. And even though he's acting different now, that alone feels like a huge wall between us. Like he's asking me to blindly trust him when he's done nothing but shatter my trust for years. And then there's his temper. It's not as explosive as it used to be, but it's still there. It bubbles up in small ways. The sharp tone, the anger in his eyes, the way he makes me feel 2 inches tall when he snaps. Even if he apologizes later, the damage is already done. Honestly, at this point, it feels like I'm wasting my life away. That's the thought that keeps circling in my head when I come home after a 12-hour shift and collapse into bed. I've given this man 8 years of my life, my youth, my energy, my love. And most of it has been me begging him to change, crying myself to sleep, and bending myself into smaller and smaller shapes just to fit into the idea of what he wanted. And now, suddenly, when I'm already exhausted, broken, and burnt out, now he wants to try. Now he says he wants to make it work. Now he claims he loves me more than ever. But how do you make yourself care when the part of you that used to beg for his love has already died? I hear him say he loves me, and sometimes I believe it. But then I remember that for 4+ years he had his fun with other women, with Tinder, with lies, with secrets. I was always there begging him to change, begging him to love me, while he was doing whatever he wanted. And now that he finally decides I'm worth it, I feel nothing. Or maybe it's not nothing. Maybe it's resentment. Maybe it's the realization that I can't unknow what I know, can't unsee what I've seen. The truth is, I didn't sleep with anyone during the 2 months we were apart. He was still my one and only. That's what makes it sting even more, knowing I gave him everything I had, and he gave me betrayal in return. He will always be my first everything, but I don't know if I can move past knowing he's not mine in the way I was his. I think I stay with him out of guilt more than love at this point. Guilt that I've invested 8 years, and leaving now means admitting I wasted so much of my life. Guilt that if I walk away, I'll feel like the villain after everything I begged him to change for. Guilt that he relies on me financially, and I'm afraid of what will happen if I leave him with nothing. But the reality is, I'm exhausted. I'm the one working 60+ hours a week, paying every bill, providing food, covering personal needs. The stress is eating me alive, and instead of being grateful, he still manages to make me feel worthless. I drive his car to work, and he makes sure to remind me it's his car, like that somehow cancels out everything I do to keep us both afloat. Like the fact that my name isn't on the title makes me less of a person, less of a partner. It's degrading, and it makes me feel like no matter what I do, it will never be enough. I love him. I wish I didn't, but I do. And that's what makes this so hard. But the love I feel is tangled up in resentment, exhaustion, and pain. It doesn't feel like love is supposed to feel. I don't even know if I recognize myself anymore. I'm reaching out here because I don't really have a support system. My friends have either drifted away or don't understand, and my family, well, let's just say they're not much help. I'm really struggling. I don't know if I should stay and keep trying because he is putting in effort now, or if the damage is just too deep to ever come back from. Am I just wasting my life by staying? Can love survive this much betrayal? This much pain? Or am I holding on to someone who has already taken everything he can from me, leaving me with nothing? I honestly don't know what to do anymore. I feel like I've given this man everything. My time, my love, my loyalty, my body, my money, and I've been left with scars, lies, and exhaustion. He swears he loves me now and that he wants to make it work, but how do I know if this is real change or just another cycle? Can love really survive years of betrayal and emotional abuse? Or am I just clinging to the memory of what I wish we had? How do I know if I'm staying out of guilt and fear instead of love? Is it even possible to rebuild trust with someone who never let you see their phone, who slept with someone else without telling you, and who made you feel worthless for years? And what about me? How do I know if I've lost too much of myself in this relationship to even want it anymore? Do I try counseling? Do I leave? How do you know when enough is truly enough? Any advice would mean so much right now.